I have 24 hours to make a drawing and turn it into a video because I didn't record one for this week. Do I have enough time? You'll probably know if you see this video. So I do have a rough idea of what I want to do, but I just need to implement it. And since we're on a time crunch, hence the video needing to be done by tomorrow, July 2nd, I want to see just how well I improved under pressure in getting stuff done. So let's just try to do it. Literally, let's try to do it. Because if I don't, there's no video tomorrow. So yeah, procrastination is a thing, young Padawans. So my overall plan is kind of an upward shot where a character is walking away from a target that they're fighting, but the target is encapsulated in like wires and having their hands like this, like they're about to pull the wire or in motion of pulling the wire from behind them, and then the target being like sliced up into like a bunch of pieces. So it's going to be an action scene that I have no way of knowing if this is going to actually work, because I've never drawn a scene like this at this specific angle. So I just want to kind of get it out there. All right, so I look like a little bit shorter because I actually moved my desk up to be able to draw at a more comfortable level. But now with the actual sketch done, and this is how it turned out, I really like how the sketch is turning out. I do not think I'm going to be doing a background because, like I said in my previous videos, I kind of suck at them and I still need to get better. It's more of not necessarily the background itself, it's just the perspective of the background to fit with the overall piece that I'm not the greatest at. So I will be doing a bunch of deep dive studying on that, and that'll be its own separate video. But for this, I really like how this is turning out. The overall wires and everything. I love characters that use unconventional weapons or not as popular weapons, and wires being one of them. So I really like how this is turning out so far. Let's start detailing it. Let's get right into it. The detailing, or rather the red line work, went fairly straightforward for this piece. I didn't really have an overall idea of how I actually wanted the characters to look like, so I just kind of made it up on the fly. A lot of the times I tend to do that because I just like the process of character creation and seeing what my imagination could fulfill from creating said characters without having like any pretext or baseline to reference off of. But I did want to make the main guy that's in the foreground to make him look a little bit evil. I do that with a lot of my characters. I like making the more foreground character looking evil, even if they're like the good guy or something like that. Just having that overall evil type of vibe has always interested me. So I'm really glad I did that. And I also wanted to make him more of an African descent, so I gave him horn rolls and then have his hair like flowing in the back. It just gave it overall a nice vibe. I really like how this turned out. Hopefully you guys did too, with the overall just red line work. And because it's just the red line work and I do skip step method, I'm able to skip it and just turn it to the final line work by just changing the actual properties of the overall coloring. But I did want to leave the originally I was gonna have like the wires black, but I wanted to change them white, so I just left them white, and then there we go, they're white. I just went in and started like editing it a little bit so the details were a little bit more concise, where things wouldn't overlap with the fingers due to me having like thicker lines and stuff like that, just to make it look a little bit nicer. If you're wondering, it is the same day. I just went and took a shower, so my clothes are a little bit different. But before we get back into the artwork, I do want to say please like and subscribe if you haven't already and you made it this far in this video. It means a lot to me because we are almost overtaking my gaming channel and it's been a while coming. Let's overthrow that and blow way past that. But yeah, if you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe, like I said. Also, if you want to get commissions from me, you can always visit my website, eldendraws.com/commissions, link down below in the description. But now back to the actual drawing. So after I used the skip step method to get the line art finished, I started moving it into the coloring. The coloring was very simple to the extent of I knew who I wanted to color and how I wanted to color them, but I didn't have an idea of how I wanted to shade it. Because this is supposed to be like an overall darker theme, I wanted to have more of a darker shading, and I wanted to figure out the light source. And I am not the best when it comes to light sources. I get the roundabout idea of how to depict the light source in a drawing, but it's not like something that's just perfected in my brain. Eventually I will get there, but as of right now, I am not at that point in my life. But once I figured it out, I wanted to do a upwards lighting shot, so the light is shining up to his face, like up from up and going past his face or onto his face, so it gives it more of a darker theme, which fits the narrative or the overall storytelling that I'm supposed to be trying to convey in this piece that I had in my mind. So to do that, I actually had to layer a bunch of different like coloring choices over and over and over again to get like more of a granular tone or shadowing or shading or softer shading before I started adding on the hard shading. And this piece in particular was kind of hard, even though I go over in my previous video how I do the coloring and how coloring changes everything, or rather this way of coloring changes everything, however I titled that. I do really love how my coloring evolved over the years, but it would have been a lot simpler if I actually just did the base coloring that a lot of people do, and then a little bit of touch-ups here and there, and then went over it with the shading instead of doing all these different layering and texturing and stuff like that. But again, I'm not complaining, it's just that it takes a little bit longer. And for this particular challenge that I invoked onto myself because of procrastination, it was a little bit more tough to swallow and be able to get in a meaningful way, because it had me thinking a little bit more. It was like, would this actually look? How would this actually work? And I think I did a pretty decent job of getting that and conveying the overall feel that I wanted for this piece in its entirety. As I continued to work on the piece, I just kept on doing a little bit touch-ups, because every now and again I would notice that certain things wouldn't connect, or when I would zoom in, it would be like certain things I wouldn't see, which is the case for like every drawing ever when you do something in digital art and you're pretty particular about what you do. But either way, I really love how this turned out, and this is the final image. Like I said, I really like how this turned out. I'll throw up the final image right beside me now. And yeah, it just looks really good in my opinion. If it had like a background, it could have looked better, but in this overall situation or scene, it doesn't necessarily need a background. I did the chaos texturing because, like I said, I want to have texture or some type of or screen tone on my drawings when I do coloring pieces, just to give it a throwback to the overall manga type of stylization where they use screen tones and stuff like that. So I did the chaos screen tones, which fits the overall image really well because it is kind of chaotic what is happening. I really like how I airbrushed some of the little white lines or strings or yarn or whatever, wires, whatever you want to call it, with the red to give it more of like blood is kind of like seeping into it type of feel. Just little things here and there that I did that I really enjoyed, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this piece too. So once again, I would like to say thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Peace. Bye bye.